another episode of Conquering Star Wars. This is the show where I review, or attempt to review, every canon aspect of the Star Wars universe before the release of Episode 9. Now today we're looking at the book Lords of the Sith, which I assumed, based on the cover and the name, was about Darth Vader and Palpatine. Now it is about Darth Vader and Palpatine, and they do feature heavily in the book, and they are kind of main characters, but they're not the only main characters, and they're not the only characters that feature heavily in the book, because the plot is kind of split between them and this thing called the Free Ryloth movement, which is kind of a precursor to a rebel faction. So you have this split narrative between these two groups that are kind of against each other, that are at odds with each other, which is cool and an interesting concept, but I felt personally that it took away from some interesting Darth Vader and Palpatine moments that I was expecting, you know, whereas they do feature heavily in the book. There was a lot of other stuff. There was a lot of stuff that was there that wasn't Darth Vader and Palpatine. Now I do want to say that stuff was interesting, and I enjoyed that stuff. I like the reoccurring characters from things like Clone Wars and Rebels, but I read this book really expecting a lot more Vader and Palpatine, and the Vader and Palpatine that we have is very good and very interesting, and I enjoyed it a lot, but I was kind of disappointed by how little there was. As good as I thought the Free Ryloth movement stuff was, I've always found myself wanting to jump back to Palpatine and Vader. So because of a little bit of disappointment, and also because I think that it didn't really need to be that, we could have had this Free Ryloth story separately. I don't know if it would have got published because it's not as fancy and it doesn't look as nice on the cover, but I just think that these things, although they melded well in this story, it's not what I wanted from the story, and I feel bad that I'm judging it based on my expectations, but that definitely affected my enjoyment of the book. So just based purely on my enjoyment, I'm going to give this a 2.5, like a down the middle. It was good, it was fine, you know, I had some enjoyable moments with Vader and Palpatine, and the Free Ryloth stuff wasn't bad. I just really wanted something more akin to, say, you know, the new Darth Vader comic series, but I guess that's why that exists, and this is different. So yeah, that was my review of this book, and hopefully we'll get back to another Star Wars thing soon, because there's some really interesting stuff I've been reading recently and I want to talk about it.